Today I'm presenting from a very wet Cardiff, which is in Wales in the UK. As Stephanie says, I'm an Acrobat certified expert. I've been using Acrobat since the very beginning, which is version 1. And today's presentation is going to be totally based upon the product. I'm not going to show any presentation slides. I think you've all seen enough of those over the past couple of days, weeks or years. So I'm going to focus just on Acrobat in a pre-press and publishing environment. And everything I'm going to be showing today is going to be completely platform independent. So in other words, I'm showing on a Mac, you can do the same stuff on Windows, so there's not going to be any difference there whatsoever, whatever platform you can be using. So I'm going to kick off going through a couple of what I call little features in Acrobat, ones that users have been, I think, crying out for quite a long time. So if I can just kick off showing you one in respect of the way that lines are displayed in a PDF file, which has slightly annoyed people over time. So I'm just going to kick off by opening up a particular file here, which is the Acro bottle. Okay, one thing you'll see when you open up this document is the unsightly, let me just move my production toolbar around. Okay, the unsightly appearance here, you can see my cursor moving around. If I just zoom into that area slightly, okay, you can't see it there. If I zoom back out to flip page in window, you can see where the arrows are pointing. I've got L's and those are slightly thicker, okay, and it also happens with I's, uppercase I's, and you can see here where the word filter is as well. Now that typically is based upon the fact that this text is not text. Okay, it's been converted into line art. A lot of time people do that for applications like Illustrator, and they do that for many reasons. Sometimes they just have to. I'm a massive advocate trying to ensure that people try not to do that, because there's nothing wrong with having a PDF file with fonts. But nevertheless, sometimes people have to do that for reason A, B or C. So what we've got now in version 9 is the ability to basically overcome that. And it's not just for the people making the PDFs, it's for effectively the recipients, so they can ensure that the text is going to display correctly. So if I just use my Acrobat Touch-Up text tool to come down to the bottom here, I've got the words REF and I've got a reference number in there. And what I can do, okay, is I can insert new text in there. So that's real text, okay, I can highlight that. I can change the properties to that as well. You can see in here I've got a font, it's a font size, a particular color. So that's real editable text. But if I use my Touch-Up text tool to actually change the font inside of there, then I can't, because as I mentioned, that's going to be just line art. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to dip into the preferences in Acrobat. So Control or Apple K, then you'll see inside of there I've got the ability to toggle the thin lines. So okay, it's on at the minute. If I can just turn that one off, zoom back out a bit so you can see that a bit more. As soon as I hit OK now, you should see that the fattening up of that particular area of text, or line art should I say, in those L's, okay, in the I's as well, that's actually gone back to displaying it in a normal, what we call anti-alias way for normal text. So I'm just going to show that again. If I just go back to Preferences, and the page display, I've got the enhanced thin lines feature. You can just toggle that on or off. Basically, if you turn it off, say OK, it goes back to how it should display. If I go back to the default, okay, turn that back on, say OK. So toggle it on and off depends how it's configured in your system. The great thing about this is it not only works for Acrobat, the full version, it also works now in Adobe Reader. Okay, so you've got the enhanced thin lines option available in the reader. So if you let your clients know if they are still receiving PDF files that have got line art in it, then get them to toggle that option off, and then they should be very, very happy. Okay, overprint preview. What does that really mean? Let me just bring up my documents, which has got an example of this. Okay, so what I've got here is I've got a logo. This is Adobe InDesign. I've got a logo, I've got some text. If I just highlight the company name there, so that's normal yellow text. So if I go to my swatch, you can see it's processed yellow. So it all looks okay. So I'm just going to show you one little thing here. If I go to preview mode, yeah, that still looks fine. Now InDesign has got the ability to show overprint preview mode, which effectively means, you know, display the content in more accurate manner so that any overprinted objects or knockout objects can display how it's going to print. So if I turn that on, you'll see that the appearance changes. Okay, so if I just turn that back off, then that's how it displays by default. Go back in again.